Welcome to Cosmic Kickback, the galaxy's favorite talk show. My name is Josh. With me, as always, is my co-host, Nick.
Hello, everyone.
Nick, it's the spookiest time of the year. You know what that means.
Dude, I'm scared right now.
Hey, you better be scared because it's just past 3 a.m. and we're doing back-to-back recordings.
Fuck. I'm not gonna lie, I'm going crazy now like that chick in the Smile movie.
Yeah, yes, sir. Hey, we're gonna talk to that. As y'all can see by the title of this, we're gonna be reviewing the recently released Smile 2.
Yup.
But before we get to that, we thought it might be fun to do a little, I guess, Halloween October edition of what we've been watching over the past month leading up to Halloween. So we're gonna, I guess, just kind of go back and forth, maybe just talk about maybe any horror or Halloween adjacent films we may have watched. We could even talk about some of our favorites if we don't have many watched over the month. I don't know. Let's just, see what happens for a little bit. Have a little, celebrate the holiday a bit before we drop into Smile 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. So, actually on October 1st, I forgot I watched this. It's actually wild that this is technically the first horror movie of the season for me. On October 1st, I watched 2024 release Tarot. Have you heard of this film?
Is that like the tarot cards?
Yeah. The tarot cards. Yeah.
They made a movie about that shit?
Yeah. Did you not see the trailer?
Dude, they're grasping at straws, man. This could not have been good. Come on.
Yeah.
I would have heard about it. If it was good, I would have heard about it.
I mean, the guy that plays Ned, Jacob Batalon.
Oh my God.
Is in it.
That's fucking crazy.
So, I mean, if I could just read my review real quick, we're not going to ever talk about this movie.
No,
I gave this a 1 star.
Jeez.
This movie is the most cut and dry, uninspired film I've seen in a while. It has been edited down to the bone. The characters are introduced, and literally within 2 minutes of meeting them, they're doing the tarot card readings that set up the whole plot. I guess the short runtime is the only thing it has going for it, but God, this is bad. Yeah, this movie was really bad. It's just like, I mean, it's just, oh my, I don't even know how to explain it, man. Like it's
just shit. It's just dog.
Yeah, like it's so weird. You know how a lot of movies, when they have like an ensemble cast of like friends that you want to care about them if they die, they kind of, give you a reason to care about them. This movie just doesn't do that. Like, whoever 100% the studio was like, damn, this shit is ass. Let's just edit it as short as we can so we can fit the most screenings in. So hopefully we can earn more, because they edited this shit so bad, man. Like, it's not even that. Like, it's
is it scary?
No. There's actually a scene where the guy that plays Ned is in a elevator and the tarot demon or whatever. No,
I'm just kidding.
Can
I remember Spider-Man?
Yeah, I know I'm going. Yeah. For a second, I was like, yo, what the fuck? He's in the elevator, and the tarot demon thing or whatever is like about to kill. Like it's weird. It's like it's teasing the kill. Like it keeps going, and then it stops, then it goes, then it comes back, then it goes, and the actor, I don't think he's a bad actor. I think they just knew this movie was gonna be bad, because it really feels like he's just like purposely, like it's almost kind of like he knows. It's like he knows this movie's ass, so he's like, you know what, let me just like fucking do whatever the hell. And it's because his screams are like so funny, actually. But yeah, no, this movie's bad. We've already honestly given it too much time talking about it.
What did you see? You didn't go to theaters, did you?
No. This came out back in like January or February of this year.
Oh, okay. So it was like an earlier stinker.
Yeah. This came out earlier in the year, but it was on streaming, so I watched it.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, you already know.
All right. Well, that sounds like a terrible movie, and I will not be watching. The first spooky movie I watched actually wasn't until the 18th. I went to the Draft House because they were showing The Shining, and so I went to go see it with my mom, and I brought Chelsea along, my girlfriend. She'd never seen it before.
Crazy.
And bro, I was telling you this before we started recording. She did not like it. She gave it, I
Absolutely
think, a
insane.
2 stars, bro.
Fucking
She
crazy.
she dead ass said like it took so long to get to where it was, like the very end, and she was like, I just wanted Jack Nicholson to come out of the screen and kill me. That's what she said, bro.
What?
And I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Dude, that's wild, bro.
And I don't know. I think I'm not saying I agree with her, but I remember this movie so differently when I first got shown it to, like my parents showed it to me.
Uh-huh.
Because watching it again now with like fresh eyes, it had to have been like at least 4 or 5 years now. But I do not remember it being such like. I thought like the last act where he goes crazy was like 30 or like 45 minutes, but that
Hmm.
it's really only like 20 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
like you see him genuinely lose his mind like throughout the whole movie, but a lot of it is just like psychological horror,
Oh
like
yeah.
characters off on their own, like experiencing crazy shit. Like I don't know. It's I just looked at this movie with fresh eyes, and it's still so good, dude. Like oh my god,
Yeah, this is actually, I think it's that movie is on currently on my Letterboxd top 4. It's one of my favorite movies. I love The Shining.
it's so good,
I
dude.
will say, to talk about like how Chelsea didn't like it. When I first watched it, I don't think I didn't like it. I think I was just disappointed because it's one of those movies I think that you hear so much about. Like you hear people talk about it like I don't know. It's just one of those movies, like everyone talks about like there's a movie called Titanic and people say it's good, like really good. It's one of those movies that I think people talked about, and I think that kind of made my expectations kind of too high. I was expecting it to be like some insane sort of scary movie, but it's not really like scary. It's more like haunting and, like you said, psychological. And I think I didn't really go into it thinking it's going to be like that. I kind of just had this insane expectation that it was going to be like the scariest movie ever. And that kind of just ruined my first viewing. Like, not ruined it. Like, I still
Yeah.
enjoyed it, like I said. I just was like, whoa, like, that's not what I expected at all. So then I had to give it a rewatch. And since then, I've watched it, I don't know how many times, but it's now I have the appreciation for it. But I think my first watch was kind of skewed because of that.
Mm.
Yeah, you already know.
Hey, well, yeah, it's a really good movie. I think Jack Nicholson's great. Actually, speaking on this, his son
Mm-hmm.
is, I want to say his name is Jeff Nicholson. I could be totally fucking wrong, but Jack Nicholson's son is in Smile too, the movie we're going to review.
He is.
He's in it for a little bit. So it's kind of funny that we're talking about like one of the greatest horror Halloween movies, and then the movie you're reviewing, his son's in it. Like it just makes sense.
I just had to double check. His name is Ray Nicholson.
Oh, Ray Nicholson. I don't know why I said Jeff. What the
Yeah,
fuck did I
ain't
come
no
up
way,
with that,
bro.
bro?
uh,
Jeez.
I watched on the 2nd of October. I watched The Others.
Okay.
Have you seen The Others, Nick?
What's the others about? No.
It's got Nicole Kidman in it. It's kind of, it's all I'll say is it's like a ghost story, like a haunted house ghost story type movie. What I wrote for it in my review, I said, one of the best ghost stories ever told. The performances are incredible. The children are honestly so good and help sell this story, but Nicole Kidman is incredible. Uh, the cinematography is so haunting, and the use of lights and shadows is so creative. There are genuinely some startling, haunting moments, but the story is what makes this such a good movie. It's more than just jump scares and tropes, it's good writing. And I gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
Damn.
I've seen this movie before. I saw this when my parents showed me this at some point when I was a kid, and there's like one or two moments in the movie when I was a kid that fucking terrified me. Like I oh my god, I remember the feeling of just straight terror from these scenes. And watching it this time, they were nowhere near as scary. But like I can just, I don't know, like I'm watching it now with like an appreciation for the art form more so than like watching it like, I don't know, as a kid you watch it for different reasons. But like, man, yeah, it was really scary as a kid. I don't think it's probably as scary now, but like I said in my review, like it's just a very well made movie. In fact, actually, one of the producers on it is Tom Cruise, which is kind of surprising.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah,
Well, hold
it's
up.
really
He was
good.
married to Nicole Kidman, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was back then.
Mm.
This movie came out in 2001. It's actually part of, I didn't know this until recently. It's part of the Criterion collection.
So
So
that
yeah.
shit's like certified banger.
So yeah, I guess they were like, "Oh yeah, this is worthy of joining the collection." But yeah, this has been a favorite of mine for years, and I showed Carla, my girlfriend. We watched it, and it was a good watch.
She like it?
She did. She gave it a 4.5 as well.
Well, I'm glad your girlfriend liked your movie because
Yeah.
she fucking shaded on mine. Dude, talking back to The Shining, actually, have you seen Doctor Sleep?
I have. Oh my god, I love Doctor Sleep.
I want to see that now because my mom's seen it. She said it was pretty good.
Dude, I love
Um,
Doctor Sleep, bro.
and dude, Ewan McGregor's in it.
He is.
It's like a direct sequel to The Shining.
Interestingly enough, speaking on that, I showed Carla The Shining as well, and it was like last year, I think, and it was her first time seeing it, and we actually went to Draft House as well, I think,
Oh shit! I think
and
they do it every year.
yeah, they do, and she, I don't think she hated it. She wasn't like Chelsea giving it a 2, but she
Dude,
was
2 is
disappointed.
crazy.
Yeah, 2 is crazy. I think Carla gave it like a 3. And even then, I was like, "Damn, really?" Like, I would think at least a 4. Like that 3 is crazy. Um, but she thought Doctor Sleep was like a 5 out of 5. Like she was like, "Oh my god! Like Doctor Sleep is so much better than The Shining. Like I love Doctor like she and I like Doctor Sleep. I think The Shining is better. But I don't think Doctor Sleep is bad. Like Doctor Sleep is a really well made movie, and I love how it is a faithful adaptation of the book, but also manages to connect itself to the movie version of The Shining, which is there's like the big controversy how Stephen King didn't like Stanley Kubrick's version of his book. Is very different. There are big differences between the book to the movie. So when they were making the Doctor Sleep movie and they were saying, "Oh yeah, it's connected to the original Shining," a lot of people were like, "Well, how are they going to do that? Because The Shining is so much different from the book." But they're saying this is going to be a faithful adaptation of the book. They managed to do like the impossible, bro. Like this movie is so good. It's connected. It's well acted. It's just amazing, bro. Like it's so good, and it got Stephen King's stamp of approval. He was like, "Oh yeah, I don't even like The Shining, but Doctor Sleep goes hard."
Damn, it sounds like nah. I mean, I can get maybe if there's differences from the book to the Shining movie, but I was
Mm-hmm.
like, man, this guy must really hate Stanley Kubrick, bro.
I guess
This
so. I
dude's
don't
dead,
know.
and he's just like, yeah, I didn't like that original shit, but this new one's some heat.
I basically, yeah, but it's crazy because I love The Shining and I love Doctor Sleep too, but I would never guess that somebody would give The Shining, like the movie that started it all, basically a 3, and then give the sequel that only exists because of how iconic the first one is a 5. Like I don't know. To me, I was just fucking insanely shocked that Carla did that, but I mean, hey, everyone's got
You
their
know
own
what?
opinion.
Sometimes, yeah, you know what? Okay, I was gonna say sometimes girls have L takes, but it is their own opinion. All right, I have L takes as well, bro.
Hey, I agree.
All right, moving on to my next movie that I watched. This is it's kind of embarrassing.
Okay, okay.
You know what? No, it's not actually. All right, the day after
Ooh,
I saw The Shining, I saw Twilight,
okay.
and the second I saw, the same day, I mean, I saw the second film, Twilight New Moon.
Okay, as you
The
should.
first one I gave 2.5, and then the next one I gave 3 stars.
Damn.
I honestly think when I first watched these Twilight movies, like the first year Chelsea and I started dating, and I thought they were like the first one was decent, but as the movies go on, like it kind of gets to like some Avengers Endgame level type like shit. Like there's a final fight in the fifth. Have you seen Twilight?
I've seen the original, the first one. I've seen like half of the second one, and I haven't seen any of the other ones, but I am aware of the Avenger level thing, and I'm aware
Yeah.
that like the twist, I guess you could call
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, even besides that, like that whole scene was satisfying. Like, I don't know, a lot of the stuff that gets like fleshed out and built in this movie. I think each movie, of course, the budget gets bigger and the actors get better. Um, I'm not like praising these like these are my favorite movies ever, but I guess they're kind of little hidden gems. Like it's a guilty pleasure movie because
Uh-huh.
when Chelsea and I were watching the first one for sure, we were making fun of the acting like a lot of the time
Yeah.
because like Kristen Stewart was like I don't know like what 20 or 21 maybe, and just the way that she was like I guess portraying Bella because at the same time Chelsea was also reading the book, so she was
Hmm.
like oh like it's not even she's not even doing the character as much justice as she's written in the book. So as we were watching, we were kind of just, watching Twilight, but also just laughing at the performances and stuff.
Yeah. I've
Like
seen.
Robert Pattinson too, because I was like, bro, this dude is blown up as an actor, and I was like, I know he hates these movies. Like he's
Oh
very
yeah,
vocal about it. That
as
this
he
is like
should.
his worst work. Yeah, I
I,
think that's funny.
Carla actually wanted to watch these during the Halloween season as well, but we haven't gotten around to it yet.
You're like,
Just
nah, bro.
because, I mean, I know I told her like, yo, let's watch all of them because I've only seen the first one and then like half of the second one. So I was like, oh yeah, let's do it. Like I want to lock in and just see the whole thing. But I've just, I've been in and out of town, recently and in school and shit. I just have not had the time, but I'm sure we'll get to it.
Hey, dude, it's good, man. It doesn't have to be Halloween to watch Twilight.
Yeah, you're right. The next thing I watched this season, I watched Ring, or I guess you can call it Ringu, because it was the Japanese version of The Ring.
Oh, the holy shit! So there's two films, right? Is this
Yeah,
the original, and
this is
then
the
The Ring?
original, the
It's the
one from
American
Japan.
remake.
Yeah.
Holy
So
shit!
I've never seen the Japanese one. I've only ever seen the American remake, The Ring. This version came out in 1998. And
Right.
I watched it because I was curious, like, okay, like I love The Ring. The Ring, the American version. I've seen it so many times. It's probably one of my favorite horror movies of like the modern day. I guess anything post 2000. Um, one of my favorites. And I was just like, you know what? Like, let me see like how different it is from the original, the source material. And this is what I wrote. I said, I finally saw the original after years of loving the American version. I'm surprised to see it's mostly the same story, though there are differences I wasn't expecting. I'll have to give the American version a rewatch soon to compare the differences, but damn, this is pretty good. Love the atmosphere created in this. So I
Mm.
didn't specify on the differences. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Have you seen The Ring?
I've seen the American one, but not the classic one.
Okay, so let me tell you a couple of differences. So like the biggest difference I think is this one they kind of just reveal that, and I could just be misremembering The Ring, but I don't remember this being like the reason behind everything. But like, okay, so basically in this version, I guess there's kind of some people that have like superpowers, I guess you could call them, more like telekinesis type shit. Because it's revealed that the mother of the girl in The Ring had like seeing the future abilities, and then her daughter had it as well, but her powers were way more strong. And and then also the main character, the girl, her ex-boyfriend or ex-husband, he also has like this ability, and it's just kind of, it's not really shown immediately. You kind of learn that he has it, and like that's the biggest difference, I think, because there's one point where the boyfriend literally like uses his version of the power is that when he's touching someone or talking to someone, he can kind of look into their mind and see their memories. So there's one point where they look into this guy's mind, and then his wife can see it too, and they see how they were doing like I guess like a test to test if the mother was actually like being able to like tell the future, or like telekinesis type stuff, and she was getting all these answers correct. But then somebody in the crowd did something rude to her, and then the guy just like dropped dead, and then they were like, oh my god, did the mom do it? But then like in the memory you can see that they turned and she screamed at her daughter, and she's like, oh, like why'd you do that? And like you see that the daughter is the one that did it, and she's basically like, that's when they find out, oh my god, it's not the mom, it's her. um yeah, that it's besides that, everything else is basically the same, but I just wasn't expecting there to be like a, I knew there was a supernatural element in the original, but this one kind of goes more into like there's multiple people that have a supernatural kind of ability to them, but it was
Yeah,
still
that's.
really good.
I mean, that's cool. I love. I mean, just foreign films in general, but specifically from like Japan and Korea.
Hmm.
I feel like they do horror in such a crazy, like psychological thriller way, and then they also like. I mean, you're telling me it does sound very similar to the American version, like almost. I don't want to say cut and dry the same, but
Hmm.
they threw that supernatural element of, oh, there's someone out here that has this powers, but what if, I guess in the original one they're like there's multiple people that have it, and that's kind of the twist, that you think you're just following one person, that, oh, it has to be this person, but no, it's kind of a twist on twist.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
what I would say the biggest difference is that like the American version is kind of like I think they do. Oh, and speaking on like, because the whole thing is about watching the tape. The this version of the tape, it's not. I don't think it's as creepy, but it's still just as unsettling. I think what the American version does very well is, I think the sound editing and like the colors, the ambiance created, I think like visually and like and all that is on like another level, whereas I think the original focused more on like the story, I think, and it's kind of more of like a calm, like haunting thing, whereas the other one is more like, I don't know, like more stylized. And I think the stylization in the American one works though. Like it kind of gives it its own identity. So I think they both kind of stand well on their own.
Shit. Okay, I gotta check out. I want to check out the Japanese one first. Then,
Yeah, lock
I
in.
mean, well, I've seen the OG, but when I rewatch it, I want to have seen the Japanese, the OG one
Oh
first
yeah,
before
yeah.
rewatching. All right. On October 22nd, this is pretty recent, a couple days ago, or I
Yeah.
guess last week, I saw the first Terrifier movie.
Oh yeah, I saw you log that.
I gave it 2.5 stars. I can read my
Cool.
review actually. I wrote a review for this. I said a pretty solid horror movie that just screams camp. The quality of this is shot much like a student film, and that isn't to its detriment, as sometimes a tight budget can bring out some of the best parts of a movie. While the story was pretty lacking, there are a lot of gory kills in this that make it worthwhile. Art the clown is creepy as hell.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to get ready to go see Terrifier 3, bro. I just need to see the second one and then I'm locked in. Because my friend at work told me he saw it and he was like, dude, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
It
I'm.
actually they just passed 50 million at the box
Oh
office
really?
recently. That's some big news. Yeah. On a
Damn,
$2 million budget.
that's insane.
Dude, crazy numbers.
That is crazy. Yeah. I might as well just say this now since we're on the topic. I watched Terrifier 2 sometime this month as well.
Oh shit.
You watched the first one. I saw the first one maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. We just decided to watch it. I think it was actually Krish. Krish was over at my house and he was like, "Oh, like let's watch this," and I was like,
Put that
"Okay."
joint on.
Yeah. I also gave the first one a 2.5. I kind of basically gave the same review. For the second one, I gave it a 3, and I said I
Okay.
had to sit on this one a few days before I can give my rating. I appreciate the practical horror effects a bunch. They look great here, and they better because the gore fest is absolutely insane. If you're not a fan of gore and slashers, you're gonna hate this. But I'm happy to say this movie actually has a plot, because that was one of my issues with the first one. It doesn't really have a plot.
Dude, it straight up is just people come into a building, he
Yeah,
kills them. Oh,
exactly.
hey, he kills them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I said I'm happy to say this movie actually has a plot, more going on than just kills, which is what the first Terrifier was. Sienna, who is one of the main characters, is a
Hmm.
very interesting character, and I'm excited to see if they continue her story in the third film. Despite that, this movie is just way too long. I found many scenes just kept going on for way too long. I don't I don't mind how long the kill scenes go on, but some of the dialogue in certain scenes seems unnecessary and redundant. This could have definitely been cut down to 2 hours, and it would have been better for it. So yeah,
Yeah.
this movie's basic. I think it's just short of 2 hours and 20 minutes, and
Damn.
you really feel it. Like it does not need to be this long. It really feels like the first one became such a cult classic that this low key I think that with the director why this one's so long is probably because he was like, oh, like the first one became a cult classic, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a third one, let me just put everything I want to do into this because I don't know, I can't guarantee that it'll be successful because it's a smaller budget, a smaller movie. But I mean the movies has been very successful, like they did very well. It's become like such an iconic thing that now I think he's got a bit more like I guess wiggle room for like I think you this has a fan base now, so I think it'll do good regardless as long as he doesn't fuck it up. But yeah, the biggest issue I had was it was very long. Like there were as soon as you see it, you'll see what I mean. Like when you sit down and watch this, bro, get ready to like strap in because some scenes just are so extended. It's definitely you literally will be able to like know when the scene is going too long. You're like, okay, yeah, like I get it. The point of this scene has already been given to me like 5 minutes ago. It's
Yeah.
just it's too long. That's the biggest issue I have with it. If it wasn't that, I probably would have given this a 3.5 or maybe even a 4.
Okay. Hey, I mean, one of the best writing advice I've ever heard from screenwriters is to get in and get out. But
I agree.
I guess we'll see. I have to
This
see
dude just got in and he stayed in.
it. Bro, just stayed in the whole time. Jeez. All right. The next movie that I watched, honestly, I mean, I don't have
Tapping
any
out.
more Halloween movies. I did see Venom recently.
Oh my
It
god.
it was an October movie, but I don't want to say that that's a horror movie. Like it's a superhero movie. I mean,
Well,
I will say the Venom was very gory,
oh,
like
really?
straight up dudes' heads getting cut off and shit. There,
Jeez.
bro. There's literally okay. This isn't a spoiler, but there's literally a monster that has the anatomy of like a fucking, I guess, a crab with like 6 legs. But when it eats you, it literally is it's like going through a wood chipper, bro. It eats you and it sprays blood out its back. So you are literally just getting fucking shredded. And
Jesus.
so many times, bro, people just got eaten by this thing and just blood started like splattering everywhere.
I'm surprised they got away with it. Is the movie rated PG-13?
I think so, bro.
Mm.
Yeah, yes it is.
Oh wow. Okay, well, I can go kind of rapid fire on like some horror movies that I haven't said yet because not all
Dude, it
of them
sounds
are
like you've
bad.
watched a lot because you started on the 1st of October, bro. You was locked in.
Yeah, I'm only on the fourth right now.
Jeez. All right, we'll go rapid fire.
All right, I'm gonna go rapid fire. So
Shoot it off. Shoot it off.
I watched Hold Your Breath, and this is actually a new release. I watched it on the day it was released, October 4th. Released
Damn.
on Hulu, straight to streaming. It has what's her name, Sarah Paulson as the one of the main character.
I like
Uh,
her.
Set in 1930s Oklahoma amid the region's horrific dust storms, a woman is convinced that a sinister presence is threatening her family. So it's an interesting premise. I reviewed it as has some interesting ideas, but never goes anywhere interesting or new with them. The movie peaked at the dinner table scene, which was about 40 minutes into it, I believe. And from there, I thought it was going to get a lot more interesting, but instead, you get another hour of eh. I gave it 2.5 out of 5.
Said it peaked at the dinner scene.
It did, bro. Like,
That's
okay,
funny. Just the
I
way that I just out of context, I don't even know what that means, but that's just fucking funny.
yeah, I mean, I think it's honestly it's a solid watch. It's not bad. Like, I could see people watching this and giving this like a 7 if you just kind of don't care as much as I do. Um, but yeah, it was disappointing. But I can see why it would go straight to streaming. And but it's not. It's okay.
Yeah,
Uh, I watched The Nightmare Before Christmas again. I watched it
classic.
with my girlfriend Carla. It was her first time seeing it.
Classic movie.
Yeah, it's classic. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Finally back to watching Halloween movies. This is just an absolute classic at this point. Some absolute amazing stop motion work, and the music is just perfect.
Bro, one of the parts that always scared me, and I think it even does when I'm as an adult, is when
Uh,
what's his name? Like the
oh, Oogie
ghost dude.
Boogie.
Yeah, Oogie Boogie. He like lifts up his fucking canvas suit body or whatever, and he's just all bugs and shit. That part is
Yeah,
gross.
yes, sir.
Oh,
Let him cook, bro.
dude, that's nasty. How does dude go to sleep at night? That's nasty. Bro is literally the bed bugs.
Oh my god. Uh,
Jeez.
the next movie I watched in October that was a horror movie is actually Smile 2. So I'm gonna skip it for
Hey.
now because we're gonna
Oh.
be talking about
Well, I
that.
was gonna say Smile too, but I mean, I saw that the same day as Terrifier. I'll say that.
Okay, I
I
saw
just
Smile
wanted
2
to see
back on
some.
the 18th.
Okay, okay. Oh, that's like opening night, my boy.
Yeah, I saw it like back weeks ago, Nick. Like you throwing my
Dude, shut up. Literally 2 weeks ago.
um, so since then I've watched 3 more that I'll count, and then we can go into Smile 2.
All right,
I
all right.
watched this one with Carla. I watched Lisa Frankenstein.
Hey, was
This
that good? That came
Yeah,
out this year, didn't it?
came out earlier this year. Directed by Zelda Williams, the daughter of the late Robin Williams. Um, yeah. Let me read my review. I said, this is exactly what I wanted out of this. I love weird, funny, gothic horror stuff. The start is a bit slow, but once it gets going, it's a fun ride. It's more comedic than I expected, but I found myself laughing a ton. I also didn't expect the trip to the moon references, but I loved them. Might be a
Mm,
new Halloween fave. 3.5 out of 5.
shit, okay.
Yeah, so there's actually like one really good shot, like where I was just like, holy shit, like they kind of cooked at this. Like there's multiple references to classic horror films, but they also have like references to A Trip to the Moon, the classic like French sci-fi film from like almost 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane, like the effects in that film. And there's a shot about maybe 30 minutes into this, maybe 40, and it looks so good, and it kind of superimposes that film almost in a way in the shot, and it just looks so good. Like I legitimately like was like, oh my god, like they cooked with this. Like that shot is so good. Yeah, the movie's, besides that, it's nothing too crazy. It's definitely very weird. But I expected it to be. I mean, it's about, a girl raising a boyfriend from the dead, so you can't take it too seriously. It's definitely more comedic than I thought. There was one part that Carla and I legit were like laughing so hard at that we had to rewind the movie because we couldn't hear anything for like a minute or two straight because we were just laughing. So I had to pause it and then rewind it. And then we laughed again the second time at that scene, and then I had to pause it again and rewatch it a third
You're
time.
just like, damn.
Dude, no, and it's not even like a joke or like it's just the guy's delivery. There's like
It's
a
like,
random no, it's not even one of the main characters, bro. It's like it's a sub character. I don't know what you call them, like a side character.
yeah.
It's not even a side character, bro. This dude is literally an extra. um there's a scene where there's like an old guy like with his son, and he's kind of like trying to teach his son how to mow the lawn, and then Cole Sprouse, who plays like the zombie boyfriend or whatever, he's like walking down the sidewalk in this neighborhood, and he's trying to get in a car, and the grandpa looks at him, and and like his delivery of this line, he just said it's literally, it sounds like this. He just says like he's like, what the hell? And he's like, what the hell, boy? And it's the hell you doing? And like I don't know, dude. It's just so fucking funny. Like because you don't expect it, because it's like a grandpa, and he's just, oh no, that's not what he says. My bad. He's talking to the grandson. He's just like, we gotta like mow the lawn like your son, and he's like sounds like a normal guy, and then like the zombie guy walks by, and then he's just like, "Oh hell nah," and then he says, "Oh hell nah," and he's just like, "What the hell you doing?" And it's like him saying, "Oh
Bro,
hell,"
just switches accents.
like him saying, "Oh hell nah," like I just busted out laughing, bro. It's so fucking funny, man. Like, oh god. Anyway, that movie, it's good. It's a good watch. It's funny.
Worth for that scene.
It was. After that, I actually watched this on my plane ride this past Thursday.
Damn, he's cooking, bro.
I watched it
Watching
on the
movies.
plane. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I watched it the way Francis Ford Coppola intended. I watched Bram Stoker's Dracula on my iPad.
God, you fucking! I saw that you watched that, and I was like,
Yes,
"Oh shit,
sir.
that's cool." I know that that's like a classic.
Yes,
Just
sir.
to fucking watch it on this film, bro.
Well, actually, I watched. So I started watching this movie on an actual TV, like a month ago, and I watched, I think, exactly half of it, but then I had to do something. So I actually rewatched. I didn't skip halfway through this on the plane. I was like, you know what? It's been about a month. I can no longer skip halfway. I gotta watch the first half again. So I watched it again on my iPad. Oh my god, bro. This movie is so fucking good, dude. Like, I wrote, wow, the shots in this are freaking insane. Give me more goth horror romance like this. 4.5 out of 5. I don't know what happened with Megalopolis, bro, but Francis Ford Coppola fucking cooked in this, dude. Like, this movie has some of the best shots and shot compositions like that I've seen like ever. Like, oh my god, I would love to see like a behind the scenes. I don't even know if they would. This movie came out in like 92. I don't know how much effort they put into recording like behind the scenes stuff. Like, I don't care about the actors, just like, you know, bloopers and shit. I'm talking like how this shot was done, because there are multiple times when I was like, holy shit, this shot is so fucking good. The performances, oh my god, Gary Oldman as Dracula is just absolutely insane. Like,
holy shit, he's Dracula?
Yeah, he's Dracula. He's so good. He's insane in this, bruh. And I will say there's one little negative in this. Gary Oldman is amazing. Winona Ryder's in this. She's very good as well. Anthony Hopkins is in this. He's really good. He plays Van Helsing.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So, that's actually really fucking cool.
Yeah, so he's really cool. What's funny is like he's got like 1 or 2 lines that are actually kind of comedic, but like it doesn't feel out of place. Like it works with his character, the way they characterize him in this. And Keanu Reeves is also in this.
Damn.
But what I was gonna say is I love Keanu Reeves, but he actually is giving the weakest performance in this. There are multiple times when I just don't know what happened. Like, his delivery is just bad. Like, one that sticks out in my memory is Dracula is kind of haunting him and his wife, Winona Ryder. And there's a time when they're in a carriage and they see him like through the crowd, and he like yells out like to Winona Ryder, like, oh my god, like it's him, like I see him. But like the way he says it is just like it's him, like I see him, he's young now. Or it's so bad, and I don't know what happened. And it's not just that, there are other times too. He's good in some parts, but like a lot of it just feels very, I don't know, man. I don't know what he was going for in this thing, but like, and also his accent, it's supposed to be like a British accent, and you hear it drop a couple times.
Like, oh no.
Yeah, he's definitely the weakest performance in this, but damn, everything else was just so good. I just like loved the story. I loved the composition. I loved the colors, like this. Oh my god, bro. It was just so good that I couldn't drop it lower than a 4.5 because just because of Keanu. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Hey bro, give him a break. I think he was still starting out, all right? That might have been like his Bill and Ted's Epic Adventure days, you know?
Yeah, honestly, this might have been his first like dramatic role. I don't know. But yeah, the final movie I'll talk about, I watched this on my plane ride home like 3 days later. Okay. I watched, for the first time, I watched Zombieland from
Bro, you'd
2009.
never seen Zombieland?
I'd never seen it. Yeah, my
Dude,
first
the
time
movie is
watching
fucking funny, right?
it. It was really funny.
I like the whole opening sequence where it's
Oh
like
yeah.
showing the rules. It's like I swear one of them is like be in shape or something like that. Like don't be fat, and it shows like this fat dude like running from these zombies, and he just gets fucking devoured.
Yeah, and literally says like, oh, like the first like rule is like cardio, and he would just like when the zombie shit happened, like the first people to go were like the fat guys. Um, so I wrote, finally got around to seeing this. Has some funny moments and some heart too. I probably would have liked it more if I saw it as a teenager or a kid, but definitely not a bad movie. Yeah, I definitely saw this. If I saw this, probably like when I was like anywhere from like 10 to like 18, like
Mm-hmm.
maybe 17, like in that range, and especially if I watched it with like, my friends,
Yeah.
I think I would have liked it even more because it would just be like even funnier. um I think for me, at least personally, I find it hard to enjoy comedies by myself, because a lot of times, like, I don't know, it's just something about being in a crowd with a comedy that kind of like helps the movie out, I think. But anyway, I didn't dislike it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So I almost gave it a 4, but I just was like, I don't know, something was missing. I liked the heart. I liked that there was some genuinely funny parts in it. Um, Other parts just kind of, I don't know, like maybe if I watched it with the group, like I'm saying, like I would have liked it more, but it was pretty solid. For me, 3.5 isn't bad. 3.5 is like what I rate things when I'm like, this isn't like an 8 to me is like a pretty like all around solid movie, has like a few flaws, but like that's a pretty solid movie. A 3 is like, this wasn't that good, but like it's not mid, but it's like, it's good
It
enough.
doesn't deserve to be mid. It's
Yeah.
better.
And then 3.5 is like, okay, this is definitely not mid, but it's also not like this isn't like, for me it wasn't good enough to give it like an 8, but like it's not bad. So
Yeah.
like I liked it, like I thought it was cool. I was laughing a couple times.
I want my fucking Twinkies. Like,
Oh
dude's
yeah, I
cracking
thought that
out.
was funny. I liked the Bill Murray cameo. I wasn't expecting. I thought they were just gonna
Dude,
go
when
straight
they
zombie.
fucking shoot him and he's
Dude, I was like,
like,
yo, what the
like
fuck?
he's dying and he fucking takes like 5 minutes to die, bro.
Yeah, that was funny. I wasn't. I was like, yo, what the fuck is gonna happen? But like, they just fucking kill him, bro. I'm like, oh my god.
Dude, literally the most chill person they could have found in the fucking. Oh my god. Well, to be fair though, he was like in makeup. Like,
Yeah,
why?
I don't know why
Like,
he
I don't
was
know.
doing. Well, because he was saying like, oh nah, bro. Like, I thought it was funny how he was just like, oh yeah, like I got a friend who's like in makeup and like he taught me how to do this. And he's like, yeah, like he's like, I just went and like golfed like 18 holes at this. Like he's like, the zombies don't even care. Like they just think I'm one of them. And I thought that was funny. Like just the fucking makeup. Like he's just out there chilling.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I liked it.
Uh,
And that
Zombieland, cool.
was the final one that's the most recent movie I've watched. Actually, I haven't watched the movie since then.
Damn.
There were
Dude, but you
other
were on a
movies
roll.
I watched that I put in a Halloween list, but they were movies I watched back in September, and I'm not going to talk about those. I'll just name them, but I won't go into it. I watched Scream, Beetlejuice 2, American Psycho, and The Sixth Sense.
Oh shit.
So yeah,
Hey, American Psycho's good.
it is. It is. Anyway,
Um, I
are
don't
you
think I
ready now,
watched.
Nick?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's talk about Smile, dude.
All right, Smile 2, Nick. Uh, this movie came out like what, like a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks now.
The 18th. You said you saw it on the 18th. I think
That is when I saw
that's
it.
when
Yeah.
when it came out.
Okay, let's do a very brief, no spoiler. Like I'm talking like 5 minutes max, because this is still like fresh.
Okay.
For anyone that has not seen Smile 2, I think this is 100% worth seeing. As someone that didn't really like the first Smile, I was kind of disappointed in it actually. This one is so much better, in my opinion. Like think if you are on the fence about this because maybe you didn't like the first one as much, maybe if you're like me, this is worth it. This is, you don't want this spoiled for you. I think this is something you should go in as blind as possible and just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not gonna be as harsh against the first Smile as you are. I like the first Smile. Mainly just because the last scene, like the last act, really paid off in terms of seeing like a crazy ass, like just monster.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really like that payoff. But this one, I think, is better than the first one in so many ways. Probably in every single way. Naomi Scott is really great in it. Ray Nicholson is briefly in it as well. He plays her boyfriend. He is in it. I love this. This one is very freaking gory, and I think the final act, much like the first one, it pays off. I might have a little problem with it that I might get into it later in the review because it's kind of a spoiler.
Okay.
But I do think this movie is executed perfectly in so many ways. Better than the first one. It's more gory. There's more scares. This movie, a lot of it is jump scares. Like, a character's looking behind them. There's nothing. They look in a mirror. Oh, something pops up. But this movie uses like jump scares and timing and pacing very much to its advantage. And a lot of the scares in this aren't just jump scares. There's a lot of other stuff that goes on that's really freaky and weird to look at. And I think, I don't want to say this as a spoiler, but the monster that comes up in the first one, and I will say that it potentially might come up in the second one again. And I thought that the design that they went for this second movie, I don't know if it's maybe explained in the lore, or I could explain it better in like spoilers, but it looked different. They did the design different. And I'm still on the fence if I really liked it or if I'm trying to understand it, but you still get that like crazy look at the monster that you did like in the first one. So if you like the first one, if you hadn't even seen it, there are characters that are connected from the previous movie, so I guess you really have to know that. The whole opening scene is really cool. It follows a character from the first one. I think that opening sequence was amazing. It was all one take.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to see this movie, I think you definitely should. And it's definitely worth the watch. I really want to go see it again. I think it's definitely one of my top movies of October for Halloween.
Yeah, I think for me, to add on before we get into spoilers, I think this movie, if you have seen the first Smile, even if you haven't, I think what this one has that the first one doesn't have is, I think this one has a bit more nuance to its story, like has a bit more of a deeper meaning that you can take. Not that like a movie needs to have that to be good or entertaining, but I think it really comes through in a way that it didn't in the first one. I think this one kind of, I don't want to get into it. I can get into it more in spoilers, but I think the plot and like the character and characters and how they interact with each other, like who they are, what they do, like all of that is very important to the plot. It feels like everything was crafted very well. Everything, every trait, every thing that each character has in their personality, and like it all matters because it all culminates and just adds to the story itself in a way that connects, and just makes the story that much more interesting. And I'll get deeper into that, into spoilers, but yeah, it's worth the watch 100%. Go see this if you haven't. If you have, or you just don't care, you've been warned. It's time for us to spoil.
About to spoil the Smile.
All right, Nick, what you thinking, bro? What's the first thing you gonna say?
I mean, do you want to talk? We could talk about the third act and stuff because I feel like that's where a lot of, I don't want to say my gripes with the movie come, but that's where I was kind of like,
All right, so you want to go straight to the gripe?
I mean, we can talk about what was good about this. I guess getting more into spoilers and stuff. I like I said, how this one is a lot more gory and stuff. The whole opening scene is really cool We follow,
Oh
I think
yeah,
his name is Joel.
he was the ex
Um,
boyfriend from the first one, right?
yeah, he was
Yeah,
Sosie Bacon's like ex-boyfriend, and she died from the first one. So, and he witnessed her die. So now
yeah,
he
yeah.
is cursed. He goes to some drug dealer's house and he's trying to pass the curse on, and the whole thing pretty much goes haywire. Some random drug dealer gets the smile curse, and it turns out to be Naomi Scott's characters. It's her drug dealer. I like how her character is very much a flawed person, and it's interesting that they took, I guess, kind of the celebrity pop star approach, because they're normally people that a lot of people in society would just put on a pedestal, because they're either a performing artist, an actor, celebrity, whatever. Like there's a whole scene where there's a meet and greet,
Hmm.
and even that scene is really creepy and shit. But she's very much a flawed person, because we know that so far in the first part of the movie that she came out of rehab, and she also was in a recent car accident, and we even see that she's scarred. So
Yeah.
like not only is she like physically scarred, but she's also mentally scarred about this car accident that happened. And I like how that trauma played into the demon kind of tormenting her, because so many times throughout the movie, like this thing will just fuck with her, bro. It'll make someone. I mean, the first part where the drug dealer kills himself in front of her, that whole fucking scene is crazy, dude. Like that scene was traumatizing, and then everything that happens after that is just this demon like fucking with her. I'm sorry. My bad. But
um,
I like how her trauma's tied into it. Like I
yeah,
think it's written really well.
yeah, that's what I was talking about in the non-spoiler part. I think the whoever had the idea to like make the main character of this one like a pop star that's like flawed. Oh my god, like that person is like had a genius idea because it just works so well with this smile like idea like the first one had. I think it works better than the first one. Like the first one, for some people I know they really liked it. I know the movie was popular. For me, I was a bit let down by it. That's just my own personal opinion. But for this one, I think the fact that she's like you said a pop star, and I think it deals a lot with I really got feel like this kind of like was inspired by in like how we've seen in real life, like to name drop a couple celebrities that have
Shit.
had, like like
Amber Heard.
like Britney Spears and like Lindsay Lohan had some pretty like bad um mental health issues with like drugs, alcohol, and then also paparazzi in the public eye, and they had just like like their image was kind of tainted in a way, and like you see that it's not really all on them. It's kind of like when you're in a position like that, the pressure and just like it all can kind of really get to you, and it kind of like is unfair in a way. um and I think that using that is was really smart because like using that with the smile thing just is so believable because you can see how the people that can't see the smile thing are like, oh my god, like this person's going crazy, and it's believable because you've seen it happen in real life and you
Hmm.
understand it. And I think it also goes into like the fact that she also used drugs, which is also kind of related to that because like I mean what celebrity doesn't use drugs?
Yeah.
The drug use and like all of that is very just oh my god, like the amount of trauma that this girl has. And when you finally get that flashback with her boyfriend and you learn that they both were just fucking terrible people and like this is what happened and it was her fault because she's just like she was just mad and like fucking did something insane, making them crash, which ended up killing him. Like then you understand like why the smile demon or whatever like haunting her is using her boyfriend. And then just oh my god, like just everything was for me just worked so well because of all of those personality traits in the character, who they are, what they do. It just worked perfectly for me.
Yeah, I agree. Even when the first kill happens, when her drug dealer kills
Mhm.
himself, um, she could have easily went to the cops and just been like, holy shit, like this dude just killed himself. But she chooses not to because, of course she doesn't want to be seen with this dead drug dealer
Yeah.
after this whole scandal following the car crash. So it makes sense why she wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, yeah. She
And
knows her
then,
public name. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, she's constantly thinking about like what people are thinking about her because she's on this whole like comeback tour. I think her last tour before she had just randomly dropped out because of I guess her drug use, but this one it's a big thing. Like a lot is riding on the line and shit.
Hmm.
And so she can feel that pressure kind of like building
Oh
up and
yeah.
stuff.
And I think the other thing you talked about it briefly, that I think really works well. And when I found out that they were going the pop star route, this was actually the first thing I thought of. I didn't even think about them going the like going crazy with the pressure and the drug use and all that. I didn't even think about how that could work. And like what I first went to was, oh my God, like the fans, because like already like you can have like an interaction with a fan and it's like it can be really bad and like really awful because they're just so obsessed with you. And then if you like throw in the like the smile thing where it's like, oh, any one of these people that are like obsessed with you could be the smile thing, or they could genuinely just be somebody that is obsessed. And they do that. They do have a scene where there's like a really weird fan that ends up just being like a weirdo, and it's actually not the smile demon thing.
Yeah.
And yeah. And I felt
That's
like,
just a whole other type of scare right
oh
there.
my God, yeah. And then the smile thing brings that character back later to like
Oh god.
torment her, and oh my God, that
Bro.
shit was creepy as fuck.
That's some pro level Riz right there. He got naked in her apartment.
Dude, hell no, bro.
He's just waiting for her.
Jesus.
Bro, that's not Riz?
I don't think so.
It's the smile Riz.
All right. Well,
Oh.
we've praised it a good amount. I'm interested now to hear what maybe did not work for you.
So what didn't work for me is near the end. So a majority of this movie is her hallucinating. She loses time constantly. She wakes up and it's just like, holy shit, like it's already this time. We think that she meets up with her friend. I think her name is Gemma.
Mhm.
But that whole thing is blown out the window because after she escapes whatever the hospital or I'm sorry, yeah, she's hospitalized because
Yeah.
I guess they think that she OD'd. But she escapes with her friend, and her friend's like, all right, fuck it, let's just drive. I'm not going to leave you. And they're driving in the car. Her friend calls her, and the whole time she hasn't been with her friend. And I don't mind that the thing is playing mind games with her, like whatever. But there's a part that goes even further. She talks to this doctor who is actually, he approached her earlier in the movie. He wants to help her get rid of it.
Yeah.
So they go to this freezer. He's like, listen, I'm going to try to stop your heart. If the thing thinks that you're dead, hopefully it'll just, go away. And they try to stop it. She ends up like facing her past self, I guess, herself from the car crash. It's really trippy, but the scene ends up with her on stage and her mom's alive. She thought she killed her mom. Her fans and stuff were all cheering. She thought that the tour was canceled, but I feel like that part throws everything away because it's like, holy fuck, was everything that we just saw then a hallucination of like her thinking she was hallucinating,
Mm-hmm.
Like what was really going on? And I get the point of this thing is to like literally just make you go insane until you kill yourself. I don't know. I just thought that I wanted maybe something different from the first one. I guess because it's very much retreading familiar territory of person discovers a curse, person ends up being tormented by the curse, person tries to fight back, it's too late, they die. And that's exactly what happens at the end of this one. She goes on stage, she kills herself in front of an audience of people, which is, I don't know. I didn't think that the movie would end like that, but I had an idea like, oh man, what if she kills herself in front of a crowd? Like the smile will be on everybody, And that's what ended up happening. Like it's you can kind of guess where it's going. And I just maybe wished that the movie did something a little different. Like, yeah, she actually maybe got a little bit further than Sosie Bacon's character in the first one, but she still kind of failed because I don't know if this thing is getting stronger. I don't know if it's more powerful now, if it can like outsmart its victims, but I was just hoping for maybe a little bit more creative of an ending. It felt very formulaic. Like, okay, I get it. It's just another victim that fell I don't know, to this smile demon. The only difference now is that that whole crowd of people that watched her kill herself is probably infected, and now it's like they honestly could end the movie here, like the franchise, and you
Mhm.
can already guess what's gonna happen. But
Yeah.
I just wanted a bit more from the ending. It seemed I had a feeling like I knew it was where it was gonna go. That's what I was kind of upset
Interesting.
about.
Okay. I so I figured you were probably gonna say the part about the hallucination being like, oh, like it's kind of the
It
same thing talking about Twilight earlier, how it's like, oh, this whole fucking thing just happened, but oh, that whole thing was a vision. It didn't happen. That whole big fight.
yeah.
And I can understand that being disappointing to some people. Uh I personally don't really mind it because for me, I think the only part because I talked to Mike a bit about this because Mike had this a similar issue that like how you're saying like he basically had the same complaint I guess, and maybe not exactly the same. I feel like he was a bit more like what's the word, I guess harsh. um he was like, well, like if that thing was hallucinated, then how do we know like what was real and what wasn't for like the entire movie? I don't know if that's how you feel or not, but for me, I felt like it wasn't that hard to like, speaking on Mike, I don't know if you, like I said, I don't know if you had that issue. um I'm talking about what he said like right now.
Hmm.
I don't think it was hard to like tell what was and was not real. I think once that reveal was made, at the end when it's like, oh shit, like that was all hallucination. I thought it was pretty obvious since you see her mom that it was like from that moment forward, from the moment she killed her mom, then escaped, and then drove, met that guy, like you know, found out Gemma was never there, and then
Yeah.
you know, like, all of that didn't happen. And for me, I don't really care because all of that I felt was done really well. The tension was bringing. There was also a really funny part, and it kind of explains it away because it's all. I kind of, it could have been a potential. It kind of towed the line between like me being like, okay, that's kind of like stupid, but the fact that like looking back, I'm like, oh well, that was a hallucination. I can like let it slide a bit because it's kind of just like trying to make her go crazy. There's a line when she's like leaving the hospital where she like gets a gun and like from a police officer, and she's like holding everyone at gunpoint, and she's like, oh, everyone stay away, and like she shoots the gun in the air, I think. And then her like manager or friend or someone literally says like, wait, but like think about the tour, like what about the tour? And I thought that shit was
Dude.
so fucking funny
Jesus.
because like that's insane to say during that circumstances, you know, like she just killed her mom,
Like,
she's
bro, she's
covered in,
crashing out.
yeah, and he's like, bro, like stop, what are you doing, the tour? Like that's insane. Like, and I laughed hard at that, and then I kind of was like, that's so dumb. Like, but then when they were like, oh, all that was a hallucination, then I was more accepting of it because I'm like, okay, well that makes sense why it was so outrageous because it's not real. um
Yeah.
so for me that it didn't, and also for me, I don't know how long that sequence was, but if you count how much time passed runtime from the moment she kills her mom to the moment like it's revealed and she's on stage, I feel like it's maybe at most 30 minutes, like maybe 25 to 30 minutes, maybe 20 to 30, I don't know. It's definitely like an extended time, but for me the movie's like what, almost 2 hours. For me,
Hmm.
if only 20 minutes of it is a hallucination, I feel like I can accept that. I think I would be more annoyed like you are if it was like half of the movie or something like that. For
Yeah.
me, I think it was enough to where I'm like, oh my god, but like not too much. Like for me personally, I didn't mind. And I actually I did also think, okay, this basically if you bring it down to rudimentary like what happens, did the same thing as the first one. um I did have that thought, but I just think it did it better. Like I said you enjoy, it sounds like you like the first one more than me. Maybe if I enjoyed the first one more, I think I might be a bit more like, oh, like this was the same thing. But for me, like I said, the first one didn't really work for me. Like what I'll tell you, to explain why this one works for me, I got to say why the first one didn't. What I didn't really like is the main character was, she worked at like a psych ward and she like saw somebody kill themselves, which
Yeah.
already like it's a possibility, you know what I mean, like working in a thing like that, like something crazy like that could happen, something traumatic like that could happen. um but then she, you know, she starts investigating the whole thing, and she meets the guy in the prison who tells her like, oh, you got to kill somebody, that's how I got away, you know. But then she's like, I can't do that, and then she decides just to like succumb to it and like go let it kill her when she's alone and there's no witnesses. um I felt a little underwhelmed personally. I think it might have worked for other people, but for me, I was a bit underwhelmed. I don't know why it didn't work for me. I just felt a little like, I guess, disappointed that she kind of just didn't do anything about it. Like she kind of, she learned stuff about it, and it felt like she kind of hit a dead end. And to me, it came across as like the writers didn't know where to go with it, so they were just like, oh, like let's just have her go alone and then it'll kill her after like a sequence of like hallucinations and scary shit. And for me it was like, it just was a little, for me it felt a little I guess what's the word, not boring.
Like
It's,
lazy. Or
yeah. Lazy's the perfect way. Yeah, it felt kind of lazy to me, and I think this also might just be my own expectations ruining it for me. From other people, they might have had this, but I, when watching the first one, made a connection to The Ring, like we talked about, I think in the last one. Oh no,
Mhm.
this one, in the beginning of this one.
Yeah, earlier.
Yeah, when we talked about The Ring, that movie is basically, it's very similar to Smile if you think about it. It's like someone gets cursed, and then the person has like a week to like try and like figure out more about it and like try and figure out how to stop it. And if they don't, then they die. Like it's pretty much the same thing. It's just, you know, packaged differently. So for me, I liked how how The Ring, the girl, the main character goes on like pretty much like a, she's solving a mystery, and then you kind of get the layers of it. It kind of unravels, and then by the end you understand where the tape came from and like all of this stuff. And I think maybe because I made that connection during the first one, I might have got the expectation that, okay, this girl is going to unravel the layers of where this curse comes from, what it is, what, all that. And she didn't really do any of that in the first one. Like, you know, she learned like one thing from the prisoner, and like really nothing else. So I felt a little disappointed, I think, because of that. And then she ends up like losing to it. And I do understand that, you know, they could always explain more in sequels. And I don't really think they explained anything new really in this one. Not that I can remember. But I think just the fact that this one, the fact that the main character was a pop star and like had the whole like drug use and trauma and the pressures from like her mom and all that and the manager, I felt like it was just like a great critique of like that in real life. And
Yeah,
like,
like I get what you're saying. Like
yeah,
I guess the bad parts of having stardom and stuff. Because
yeah,
even that scene you brought up earlier, where she was like pointing the gun at people,
oh
and
my
her
god,
tour
yeah,
managers like think about the tour. Like, yeah, that's kind of funny. But also, even if that wasn't her hallucinating, like I'm sure that there are like music managers who have seen like the people they manage at their lowest, and they're just like, listen, you got to think about the bigger picture here. Like
yeah,
even her mom
yeah,
is like that. Like she doesn't want to do the tour because she's genuinely fucking hallucinating. She doesn't feel good, and her mom's like, look, like we can't back out. Like
yeah,
this is your
exactly,
comeback tour. We've put so much money into this. Like I put so much of my time into helping you and stuff. So I like it, it's weird that I'm oddly like not relating or empathizing, or maybe I am empathizing. Sympathizing is the word that I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
but you're empathizing with someone that's a celebrity because of the way that they set her up with her backstory and all of these kind of things that she has to deal with when navigating, being famous and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that the fan meet and greet is a very smart scene that they put because it could be the smile demon or it could be, like you said, just a very ecstatic fan to meet her. There's a
Yeah.
little girl that approaches her, which I think actually was the smile demon just fucking
Yeah.
with her.
Oh yeah.
That comes up, and that was super creepy. But yeah, I think that um the whole celebrity angle is really good. I haven't seen Perfect Blue, but people in their reviews on YouTube were saying they saw some similarities in
Oh,
this.
for sure. Oh my god.
I mean, yeah, I know you've seen that. You
I
said it's a
Perfect
good
Blue is
movie.
really good. Oh my god. I love
Hey,
Perfect Blue. I think
art inspires art.
oh, for sure. I think um for me it's just like this idea of the smile thing becomes infinitely more interesting just because of the like setting, like, and I'm, by setting I mean like the character and like everything she is and represents and deals with. I think it just becomes way more interesting as opposed to the first one. Like the first one, like the girl was really just kind of just like a regular person.
Yeah, I mean, she just got unlucky, like the
Yeah, she got
victim that,
unlucky. Yeah,
and she had no idea what she was dealing with.
and it, like, there are interesting aspects to that, but this one I just find way more interesting. I feel like there's way more you can do with it, and I felt like they spent a lot of time doing a lot of creative stuff with it, and I like the idea, even though it ended up being hallucination, but like they still presented the idea of like, oh, what if you kill yourself and
Yeah,
then like bring yourself back to life. Like I think that I didn't even consider that, honestly, when I thought about like ways to stop it, because I was trying to like solve it when I watched the first one, like, oh, how can they stop it without killing somebody. I didn't even consider that.
yeah.
Stopping your heart and then bringing it back, like that's interesting. And like, even though that ended up being hallucination, the fact that she went there and tried to do it, and then you begin questioning like, oh, is this guy really here to help her, because he gets kind of weird at the end, but then it's,
I
it's
know
a,
he just walks out of the room. He's like, "All
yeah.
right, just inject this when you're ready," and then like dude just turns around and that's it. Like no further instruction.
Yeah, and then of course it's a hallucination. And I actually, how you say the ending is kind of the same, despite like it's like the difference is that it's in front of a crowd. I actually really like that, because it's like I you say you predicted it. I didn't predict it. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't want to say I predicted it, but I when I saw the trailers for this, I'm like it's it's a pop star. I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming it might be a concert scene. I'm like, there might be some big like bloody hallucination or
Mm-hmm.
like big scene that happens there. I wasn't saying that I think that she'll kill herself on stage, but I mean I could see where it was going in sense of the first one was our protagonist kind of losing to this thing, and
Mm-hmm.
you think that she wins actually, but it
Yeah, I
at
thought
the
this girl
very
was gonna
end,
win. Yeah.
yeah, like she got closer than the last character, but yeah, this thing that's tormented her, and it used so much of her environment of being a celebrity and shit to just fuck with her. Like, there's a scene it takes place in her penthouse when she's by herself, and like literally her whole like dance ensemble cast is in the apartment, and that scene is so fucking scary, dude. She's like looking to the door to run away, and when she looks back, like they're moving towards her, and it's
Yes,
so
sir.
freaking weird and choreographed so good.
Yeah.
But that scene was genuinely scared me too. Like, holy fuck, that freaked me out.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
I actually really like the way this ends, because I think the setup is, like you said, you can either end it here and you can be like, damn, like the smile thing just infected like 1,000 people or something like that.
mhm.
Um, and that's insane. Or you have the opportunity to make a third one if you want to. And I think a very interesting way you can do this is, this one, the theme of the movie was 100% like, stardom and like the bad sides of it, like the pressure and like all of that, all the bad stuff that comes with it. The first one, I guess the themes are more, they're less specific and less niche, and they're more just kind of like, oh, like the introduction to the smile thing.
Yeah, it's a horror,
Yeah, just very
a
generic.
monster.
This one has an opportunity to do something very interesting, I think. The fact that so many people witnessed it, I think they can do something with the theme of like group trauma, and like how a group can like navigate like dealing with a traumatic experience that multiple people dealt with, because like that's a real thing, you know, like how if you're with a group of friends and you guys all like experience something like terrifying or traumatic, how you guys navigate, you gotta have to navigate that together as a group, because it's like that's your support system. They can directly relate to you, but everybody navigates their trauma in different ways. But like group trauma is a very like real thing, and I think they have a perfect opportunity to like create like an ensemble cast instead of it being like specific on one person. And now it's like, okay, all of these people are being haunted by this thing, and that makes it a bit more interesting, you know what I mean? Like it's like, I don't know, like not more interesting, but it like it creates a whole nother layer that you can now use the same way that they reinvented the first one, but just by making the girl like a pop star and like all the like, you know, uh intersectionalities of that character. And now you can do it with, now we're not just doing one person, we got like a group of people. And I think that's an interesting idea.
That could be an interesting idea. I honestly, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, like that
I
that
would like.
interests me.
I don't know if this was in the first one, if there was like any detectives, but I feel like it'd be cool to have a detective that's maybe investigating like the aftermath of the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe all those people that get infected by the smile demon end up just killing each other, and this detective
Jesus.
is like, I don't know, like he's looking into this case of this mass suicide that happened at a concert, and then it starts haunting him and stuff, and it could go down that kind of familiar route of, you know, people outing this detective for getting too close to something and he's acting crazy, but what he's seeing is real. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the group dynamic I think is interesting because for the past two movies now, Smile has always kind of relied on our main character unraveling before other people's eyes. But if this one, what you're saying is like a group dynamic, I feel like that could add, like you said, a whole nother layer of, like, I don't know, I could be hallucinating. You could be a part of the hallucination with me, or you could be the hallucination. You know, it would be fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's a good idea, I think, is like it just, as the same way that this one just was like a gold mine for creative writing, like situations, like having that character really just opens up the possibilities on what you can do. I think the same can be said for like a group like setting of this. I think that just opens up like, oh, what can we do with this? Like you can just think of like a ton of different ways you can do it. And I think that's what I would guess they would do. That's what I would do.
A good
um
idea.
I think if they go just one person again, I think then I would be like, okay, I've seen
It
this
would have to be a
already.
strong character.
They would have to do another thing where it's like, okay, like
Yeah.
we did a pop star, what can we do now to make it
Bro,
interesting?
what
And
about like a world leader?
see, that could be
Like the
interesting.
president? Can you
You just
imagine
see
that
them
shit?
going crazy on
Holy
fucking national
fuck.
TV.
Dude, that'd be
um
crazy.
but yeah, I don't know. For me, I do see what you're saying about it basically being the same movie, but I think the fact that the first one was kind of disappointing for me because of my
A little
expectation.
generic.
Yeah, because of that, this one felt more, like I said, interesting, more creative, and I think it worked for me more. So, and I didn't really like the ending of the first one. I didn't like how the boyfriend like witnessed her die, even though like she was like, oh, like I don't know, like I understand it. And I will say it paid off well, because I haven't even talked about this, but the opening scene, you talked about it, it's really fucking good. Like
Yeah, it's all one shot.
it's all one shot, it
It's
hooks
made
you
to look like one shot.
immediately. Yeah, they definitely have a couple hidden cuts in there because it goes on for a while. It's like 5 to 10 minutes,
Yeah.
probably over five for sure. But it's really good, and like it just hooks you immediately. It's done really well. Like I couldn't see any of the cuts. um it just looks really good. Hooks you immediately, and connects it to the first one as well. um yeah, I don't know, for me it's just, I've just been praising this movie. I will say I do think some of the parts like were a bit maybe kind of dumb. Like I know you said that the group scene kind of like freaked you out. I kind of thought it was funny at one point just because like I was like, dude, what is going on? That one
You're
didn't
like,
work
guys,
for
what the
me as
fuck?
much. It but like yeah, I don't know. I think for me, this movie is like a 4 out of 5.
Dude, when I first got like when the credits started rolling, I don't know why I thought of this, but I was just like, bro, this feels like what Long Legs was trying to be. Like, I get, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe in terms of like a tight story, because I get the ideas that we're trying to get presented in Long Legs, and now with retrospect, I can understand it much more now after we had our review. But
Uh-huh.
in terms of like when the credits rolled, I was like, holy shit, this movie was really good. Even though I thought it was going some direction, like it did a lot of really creative things, and I think that the main character that it gave us was really strong. And dude, her performance is good. Naomi Watts,
Oh
like
yeah, she's really
she's
good in
meant to
this.
like have to like be on the brink of insanity. She has to scream multiple times. She has to like shed tears and shit. She does it so good. And bro, the agonizing scream she does when she gets into that car crash felt like
Oh
so
yeah.
real, dude. Like it really made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, that
Um,
we haven't even talked about her performance. Yeah, you're right. Like she really sells it in like a lot of those scenes where she's just like having agonizing screams. Like I 100% agree with you. Like her performance I think is a giant reason why this movie works. Not to compare it to the first one. I'm sure the girl in the first one did a good job as well, but
yeah.
I just think this is like an
It's different
elevated
levels.
performance. It's
Bro, she
just
has
like
to sing. She has to like there's
yeah.
dance numbers. Bro, she was trying to be what Lady Raven couldn't, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm
Oh
gonna
my
say.
god.
Isn't it
But
crazy? We have like two pop stars in
yes,
horror
sir.
movies like in a year.
We're gonna need them to
Hey bro,
have a
you
movie
going to
together.
are you going to Sky Riley or are you going to Lady Raven concert?
Bro, I'm going to Sky Riley, bro.
What do you mean, bro? She's gonna kill you. Or you're gonna get the smile.
Shit,
You're
I'm
gonna
not
get the
I'm not
smile.
turning around, bro. I ain't gonna look at it.
Dude, I'd rather get the smile than see Lady Raven.
Wait, is that could that would that stop it? Like if you see the person beginning to
Just
kill
turn
themselves,
around.
just turn around or
The
like close
monster's
your
like, fuck.
eyes. Yeah, just close your
Fucking
eyes.
didn't
Are
think
you
of
good
that.
then?
You good. Dude,
I guess
actually,
she would be.
does that mean that anyone that's blind is just immune to the
That's what's good.
monster?
Yeah, yeah. If you're blind, you're just chilling.
Holy fuck. Bro, what if they I don't know how that would work, a blind person. I
I
mean,
don't
they
think
could do
I
that.
don't know if they could do it. Like, cause like
It'd be
how
very
are they
much
gonna
like
know they're
sound heavy.
hallucinating, bro?
They'd be like, I'm good.
They would have to. I think they could do it if like maybe with a deaf person,
Yeah. That'd be kind of
because
cool. Yeah.
that could be. But then again, you would have to do a lot of thinking about how things would work, because sound is such a big part of horror. I don't
Yeah,
know, but like there's definitely like creative things you can do with it.
I agree. What did you think of the monster design at the end of this? Because we see it literally rip her mouth open.
Oh
It
yeah, like
looks
it like
fucking
climbs out
graphic.
of her.
Dude.
Yeah,
It looked
the way it broke out of her, like I thought was very unsettling. Um,
Did it
I
look different to you, the design? For because I know you, I don't know how long ago you saw the first one, but it
it was like
looked
last
different
year.
to me.
It
Like
it basically looked the same. I felt
I don't know.
like
I thought it had more limbs. I thought it looked like a brighter red. Like I just thought it looked totally different. But I was in my head, I was trying to justify it. Like, is this thing like evolving and getting stronger? Like, does it look different to everybody? Like, is it just like I don't know. I was just kind of like shocked at how like it kind of reminded me of like the alien from Asteroid City, like just like puppet, like it just looked very puppetry, and not in a bad way, but just maybe it was the stop motion they used. I don't
uh-huh.
know how they do it. I know how they did it in the first one. It was straight up like a fucking 7 foot puppet.
I assume they did it the same way. I think the reason
That's
why
what I
maybe it
would
looks
think.
a little weird is because the limbs are like extended in this one, because it's like there's like they're very far from each other, Sky Riley
Yeah,
and the thing. So like when it reaches forward, its arms are like so long that it kind of, I think when they move, it looks a little like they're hanging on wires maybe.
yeah. I was thinking also too because the first smile, she's in like a small dark house with like a lamp. This one,
Exactly, the
she's on like
lighting.
a lighted stage. So I was like,
hmm
okay, like definitely could look different, but
I think
I'm not
that's
mad at
why. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not like mad at the design like oh it sucked. Like it just I noticed it looked different and I took that into account like is this thing like getting stronger like it I don't know. It shocked me. I was like, holy
Hmm.
fuck. I was
Yeah.
expecting it to look the same as it did the last movie, and the fact it didn't caught me off guard in
I
a good
see.
way.
Yeah, for me, I felt like it did look the same. I think it was just the limbs were like outstretched a bit more, and I think that was
Yeah.
just because they were far from each other.
Yeah,
And I think the lighting is probably why it looks brighter because,
for
like,
sure.
spotlights. But I would imagine a side by side, it probably, honestly, I will say it probably looked better in the first one, and that's probably
I
because,
That's what I think.
yeah, I think it's because of the lighting. It plays a huge part in it. The fact that you got like a yellow light, like a flame kind of light, the way it like reflects off of it makes it look very fleshy and just looks like disgusting. Whereas when you have like a bright white like spotlights on it, it kind of doesn't look more fleshy, and it kind of makes it look more plasticky or like latexy. And I think that's maybe why it looks a little. I think that's also why they kind of do a wide shot of it, also to show like it reaching to it. But
Yeah.
I think they do a wide because they realized, oh, it doesn't look as good in this lighting. But I think they realized like, well, she's on stage, like we can't really explain away like why would there be like the same lighting as the first one.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could have shut the power off. I mean, I'm not
They
mad at
could
it.
have.
I
I'm
just
not
noticed
either.
the monster looked different, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It scared me. Like, I don't know. I was expecting it to look one way. Like, I was ready,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
it
I don't
still
really
caught me
mind
off
it.
guard.
Like I feel like for me this movie was really good. Um, I liked it. I wasn't expecting it to like it that much, like I said, because I was
Dude,
kind of
same.
disappointed with the first one.
Yeah, and usually sequels are like weaker than the original, if not
Hmm.
just, just a cash grab on the
Yeah,
franchise. Yeah, I was impressed with Smile too. Definitely one of my favorite Halloween movies.
me too.
October releases, 2024 horror releases in general, bro. And there's a
Oh yeah.
lot. There's a lot I
I
still got to get through too.
We're gonna have to at the end of the year go through our 2024 films ranked, like go through our top
Oh
tens and
yeah.
stuff, like Yumi and Mike. Because actually, when I was placing this film in my ranked, I actually debated this, but then I thought about it, and I know you brought this up earlier with Long Legs. I actually placed this above Long Legs.
Dude, I did too.
Yeah, I got it one above it. Like it's
I
like
just
the
liked it
next
more
one
than
above.
Long Legs. I don't know, like I maybe I sound like a dumbass, but like when I left Long Legs, I didn't fully understand it. You had to watch a video after on YouTube. But this one, like the credits roll, I fully enjoyed it. That shit scared the hell out of me. The cinematography was good. The Naomi Watts performance was the fucking best thing of the movie that carried the whole
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
I liked the aspect that they did and the whole car wreck trauma and that whole scene that they shot too. It felt like something out of an Ari Aster movie, like
Hmm.
just really dark and morbid. And of course, something like very much easily that could happen, like a car crash. Like imagine being the sole survivor of that and then actually being the one that caused it. Like that'd be incredibly fucking traumatizing.
Oh my
So it's
god.
like
Yeah.
you understand why she's like that. But yeah, just when the credits rolled, dude, I enjoyed Smile 2 way more um as a horror movie. And I mean, yeah. I would love to get a third one. I don't know what they're gonna do. This one had a pretty quick turnaround from the movie that came out. I think it came out 2 years ago,
Hmm.
2022.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
fast.
they could do a prequel. They could do a sequel. Um, I don't know. I'm sure they're already thinking of ideas and shit, bro.
Yeah, I
They
bet
better
you they
not steal
are.
your idea. They better not steal the group idea, bro.
I bet you that's what they do,
I'm
bro.
telling
Like,
you, bro. If you take a group of like traumatized kids after that concert, they go to a like a remote cabin, to kind of just like de-stress and then shit just goes crazy. There you got a classic banger right there.
that's probably what they're gonna do. I imagine they would. That's what I would do.
I
Um,
know.
maybe they would. Maybe they'll subvert my expectations and do something different. But that's what I expect them to do if they do make a third one. But anyway,
Bro.
Nick, what is your final rating on Smile 2?
My
Because
final rating,
I don't mean to call you out, Nick,
bro.
but this is one of the ones that you did change on Letterboxd once again.
What the fuck are you talking about? Is my review different?
Your review, I can see it right here when I look at it. Fucking Letterboxd exposes you. It shows you
Dude.
as a 4.5 out of 5, and then I click on it, and then it's now a 4. So you changed that shit to a 4, bro. Don't even
I
try me,
didn't.
bro.
No, I didn't change this though because
I'll take a screenshot, bro.
I hadn't. I get what I'm looking at it right now too.
Oh, you see
I'm
it?
giving the yeah. I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. Well, I don't know why, bro.
So
My finger
you're
must
saying
have
they're
slipped,
lying?
bro. Well, okay. If I did change it, it was on accident because
Oh
I
my
want to keep
god.
my final rating as what it was when I reviewed it out the
So four and
theater.
a half.
I'm get no 4 out of 5. I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. It was great. Maybe I just wanted more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want a movie where they fucking beat this thing, but
That yeah, I do too. Yeah, the
it
next one
just
they gotta
seems
beat it, bro.
they got so fucking close, dude. Also, what happened to that doctor? Was he even real? Was
I
he even
think he was
helping her?
real. I think he was real in that one scene, and then that was the only real scene with
Yeah,
him.
she never went back to him.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
At first, I didn't think somebody was actually texting her. I thought it was like a hallucination.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we've talked about it for a while. This is a good movie. It's probably might be my favorite horror movie of the year currently. And I really like the performances in it. It was really good.
Bro,
But anyway,
imagine the smile demon is haunting LeBron James.
dude, imagine they made
or
that.
just a like a basketball player, just some fucking crazy shit.
That would be kind of funny.
I don't know. I don't want to keep going the celebrity route, but I'm just trying to think of like creative like situations where that shit would be funny, bro.
I'm sure like if
know.
someone did a brainstorming thing
Or like a movie director. I feel like that'd be cool.
That could be
maybe
cool.
an architect. Or no, dude, what about an artist who's like painting?
That could
and
be
they
really
see like
cool.
smiles. God damn, dude, we could write the Smile sequel right now.
Oh man. All right, well, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 as well.
Hold up, you're not changing?
Oh no, I'm keeping it my original 4 out of 5. I will say I think I saw this with Carla. She gave it she said a 4.5 or a 4. I don't know if she settled on which one, but she liked it enough to like think about 4.5. And I will say I knew it was gonna be a 4 off rip.
Damn.
But yeah. Anyway.
You just know.
Yeah, you already know. Anyway, I think that's it, Nick. Do you have anything else to say, or do you wanna wrap that thing up?
No, go see Smile 2. It's definitely worth it. It's still in theaters. It's a movie that after I got out of the theaters and I was on my way home, I was like, dude, I want to go see that again. Like with some friends. I want to show it to them. Like it's a cool movie. It's worth seeing twice, bro.
I agree.
Happy Halloween. Thanks y'all for watching. If all goes well and I edit this shit and I don't knock the fuck out, it's okay. I will get it out. All is gonna go well. Happy Halloween.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to our weekly watches as well for this month of October. Make sure to comment any of your favorite October Halloween movies. Maybe what you guys watched. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, Reddit, Discord. We're pretty much everywhere. You can also check out our letterboxes below so you can see what we're watching weekly. Yep. I follow back. I don't know about Josh. This dude's kind of stingy with the follows. Hey, I don't know, bro. But yeah, you can go check out our letterboxes and get a peek at any early reviews that we got coming up. And make sure to like and subscribe and also leave us a review. That'd be really cool. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Happy Halloween.